It's 3 a.m. and my brain is acting like I'm late for a meeting. I wake up, I use the bathroom, climb back into bed, and my brain is already running. It's not about yesterday, it's the bigger stuff: money, family, situations I can't fix, the future, what's coming, what could go wrong, what I'm supposed to do about it. And then after about an hour, I give up, get out of bed, find a book, or get on the computer, anything to distract that monkey brain. This has been going on for a couple of years, and I keep telling myself, "Come on, Mark, just stop thinking." And that never worked. In fact, it started happening more often. And over time, it starts to mess with more than just your sleep. It starts to mess with who you are during the day. But over the last few months, I started noticing a second place my mind was getting stuck. So my mind wasn't getting stuck in some dramatic way. It was subtle, quiet, almost easy to excuse or ignore. But I started noticing that once my mind latched onto something negative, it didn't want to let go. And the clearest place I saw that was with my wife. Now, I love my wife dearly, but she has always had a short fuse. But she gets over things quickly. No grudge, no slow burn. She says her piece and she's done. I used to let it roll off of me. After 48 years, you learn each other pretty well. But lately, I noticed if she got after me about something, even if it was something small, usually it was something small, I'd carry it around for hours. Not outwardly, no yelling, no slamming doors, just quiet. And then the replay in my head. What should I have said? What should I have done different? Why does she do that? But then I noticed it wasn't just her. It was showing up in little things every day too. uh, like in traffic, if somebody cuts me off or honking at me because I hesitated a green light. It's not road rage, it's just irritation, just grumbling. But then I'd stay in a bad mood for the next hour about it. And that's what started bothering me. Not that I got irritated, but it was how long it lasted. And what scared me wasn't one bad moment, it was the thought, wow, what if this is just the person I'm becoming? I didn't really like that person. Didn't want my wife getting the worn out, grumpy version of me. So I finally admitted that this wasn't just a mood, this wasn't just a phase, and I called my doctor. And I didn't make that appointment because I wanted a label. I made it because I was tired of feeling stuck in my own head. I told her what was happening both at night and during the day, and she said something that helped me understand it. She called it more of an anxiety related issue. Then she prescribed me a very mild antidepressant. So now I'm not telling anyone what to take. I'm saying it was worth a conversation with my doctor. So now it's been a little over a month that I've been taking it, and it has made a tremendous difference. I still wake up at 3 in the morning, still use the bathroom. I mean, I'm 68 years old. But now when I come back to bed, my mind tries to pull out that worry list again. So I say a little prayer, focus on my breathing, and I fall right back to sleep. And the bigger surprise wasn't just uh, my sleep patterns, it was my mood. I felt steadier, lighter, more like myself, and I wasn't hanging on to every minor irritation. It was really kind of strange seeing the change and realizing that, wow, yeah, I do feel better. So I asked my wife, have you noticed any difference? And she didn't hesitate. Absolutely, she said. You're in a much better mood. And that's when it really hit me. I may have been the last one to admit something was off. But then I remembered this wasn't the first time I'd been down this road before. So about 15 years ago, I was still working at the plant supervisor. It was a very busy, intense time. I started noticing I had a shorter fuse at work. and I'd get this stiff neck from tension. My body was trying to tell me the truth before I was willing to admit it myself. So I mentioned it to my doctor at the time, and he prescribed me a different, very mild antidepressant. And he said a line, though, I never forgot. He said, when you start noticing it, everybody else is already noticing it. And that medication really helped me. I stayed on it until about 10 years ago, a few years before I retired. So here's the reason I'm saying all this out loud. A lot of men, especially men like me, treat getting help like it's a weakness, like we're supposed to just tough it out, to handle it. But I'm starting to believe there's another way of looking at it. It's about taking responsibility for what's happening inside of you. So, not just for yourself, but so that the people you love aren't carrying the weight of it with you. God doesn't ask me to pretend I'm fine. Sometimes the most faithful thing I can do isn't to push harder, it's to tell the truth to myself. I thought I needed to try harder. Turns out I needed to get honest with myself and with my doctor. So take good care, and I'll see you next time.